The U.S.-Philippines alliance, rooted in shared history and the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, has long been a pillar of regional stability. Now in September 2025, the partnership faces a new era as tensions in the South China Sea escalate and both nations seek to adapt. The latest agreement goes beyond military ties, blending defense cooperation with economic partnership to secure prosperity and security. Under President Marcos Jr., the Philippines has pivoted back to the U.S., resulting in a comprehensive pact that redefines their alliance for the 21st century. This video explores the key elements of this new pact and its implications for the region's future. The new U.S.-Philippines agreement stands on two pillars: expanded military cooperation and a fresh, forward-looking trade deal. The U.S. is investing over $700 million in Philippine military modernization and infrastructure, including advanced systems and joint operations. On trade, the U.S. grants the Philippines a slight tariff reduction, while the Philippines opens its market to American goods, aiming for a more balanced and mutually beneficial relationship. This dual approach strengthens both nations' security and economic resilience in a rapidly changing world. Manila's embrace of the U.S. Pact was a pragmatic response to rising Chinese aggression and economic uncertainty. Repeated maritime confrontations underscored the need for stronger defense and credible deterrence. The U.S. offer of expanded military support and joint patrols provided a clear path to enhanced security. Economically, the trade deal shields Philippine exports from steep tariffs, protecting jobs and industries. President Marcos Jr. skillfully leveraged the country's strategic position to secure both defense commitments and economic concessions. The result? A calculated move that addresses the Philippines' most urgent security and economic challenges in one package. The defense pact between the United States and the Philippines is not just a renewal of old ties, it's actively transforming the Philippine military landscape in ways that are both visible and strategic. Decades after the closure of major U.S. bases, the partnership is now defined by flexibility, shared interests, and a focus on regional security. The presence of American troops and advisors is no longer limited to a few locations. Instead, it is expanding across the archipelago, signaling a new era of cooperation and preparedness. 9 Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, sites are being upgraded with significant U.S. funding. These improvements support a larger rotational presence of American forces and allow for the pre-positioning of vital supplies, equipment, and humanitarian aid. The upgrades include new runways, fuel storage, and command centers, making these bases more resilient and responsive to both military and disaster relief operations. Joint exercises like Balikatan have grown in scale and complexity, now involving key allies such as Australia and Japan. These drills focus on real-world scenarios from amphibious landings to cyber defense and incorporate advanced technology and tactics. The goal is to ensure that the Philippine military can operate seamlessly with its partners, responding to a range of security challenges in the Indo-Pacific. U.S. investment is also modernizing the Philippine Navy and Coast Guard, providing new vessels, radar systems, and training. This shift marks a move away from internal security and towards external defense, with an emphasis on interoperability, ensuring that Filipino forces can work side by side with their American counterparts in any situation. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has been clear in his messaging. These sites and exercises are strictly for defensive purposes, not for launching offensive operations. By emphasizing this point, he seeks to maintain a careful diplomatic balance, reassuring both the Filipino public and neighboring countries of the Philippines' intentions. The Philippines continues to uphold its One China policy, making it clear that the increased U.S. presence is not meant to provoke or threaten, but to strengthen the country's ability to defend itself and respond to emergencies. Officials regularly communicate this stance to regional neighbors, aiming to prevent misunderstandings and maintain stability. This nuanced approach allows Manila to benefit from its alliance with the United States, gaining access to training, technology, and support, while also managing its complex relationship with China and other regional powers. The government walks a diplomatic tightrope, seeking security without sacrificing sovereignty or regional goodwill. The result is a stronger, more capable Philippine military, better prepared for the challenges of the 21st century, and a foreign policy that balances security needs with diplomatic finesse. As the region evolves, so too does the partnership, shaping the future of defense and diplomacy in Southeast Asia. The July 2025 trade deal recalibrates U.S.-Philippines economic ties amid global tariff wars. The US reduces tariffs on Philippine goods to 19%, a small but vital edge for key industries. In return, American exports gain tariff-free access to the Philippine market, benefiting US automakers, farmers, and pharmaceutical firms. The agreement protects millions of Philippine jobs and provides stability for its export-driven economy. For the US, it opens a market of over 115 million people, supporting jobs and profits at home. This transactional deal creates a symbiotic relationship, securing economic interests for both nations. The revitalized US-Philippines alliance has sent ripples throughout the Indo-Pacific, drawing intense scrutiny and strong reactions from both neighbors and rivals. At the heart of this response is China, which views the renewed partnership as a direct challenge to its ambitions and influence in the region. The increased US military presence is seen by Beijing as a significant threat to its strategic interests, especially as tensions continue to simmer in the contested waters of the South China Sea. Beijing has been quick to condemn the enhanced US military footprint, warning of destabilization and accusing Washington of interfering in regional affairs. At the same time, China has not slowed its own assertive activities, continuing to build up military infrastructure and increase patrols around disputed islands, signaling its determination to maintain dominance. Despite occasional diplomatic overtures, China's use of gray zone tactics, such as deploying Coast Guard vessels and maritime militia, remains a constant source of tension, leading to frequent standoffs and raising the risk of escalation. Meanwhile, Southeast Asian neighbors like Vietnam are quietly supportive of the US-Philippines alliance, seeing it as a much-needed counterweight to China's growing assertiveness. However, many ASEAN members remain cautious, wary of being drawn into a confrontation between major powers and concerned about the potential for instability in their own backyards. US allies such as Japan and Australia have responded by deepening their own security cooperation, joining expanded military exercises and signaling their commitment to upholding a rules-based order in the Indo-Pacific. These joint drills are not just symbolic, they demonstrate a growing willingness to work together in the face of shared security challenges. In response to the shifting landscape, new minilateral groupings are emerging, weaving a complex network of deterrence and cooperation. These partnerships aim to strengthen collective security and send a clear message of unity against coercion. Ultimately, the region's response is far from uniform. While some countries embrace the alliance as a stabilizing force, others remain anxious about the risks of entanglement and the uncertain future of regional order. The Indo-Pacific's diverse interests and anxieties ensure that reactions will remain fragmented and dynamic in the months and years ahead. The new US-Philippines Pact ushers in a period of heightened competition and strategic recalibration in the Indo-Pacific. As the global balance of power shifts, both nations are navigating a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and emerging threats. This agreement is not just a military arrangement, it signals a broader commitment to shared values, regional stability, and mutual prosperity. The Indo-Pacific, long a crossroads of commerce and culture, is now at the center of a new geopolitical contest, and the decisions made today will echo for generations. For the Philippines, the pact presents both opportunities and challenges. The country must carefully balance the benefits of enhanced US support, such as advanced training, intelligence sharing, and access to modern military technology, with the risks of antagonizing China, its powerful neighbor and major trading partner. As Manila pursues military modernization and greater self-reliance, it must also weigh the potential economic and diplomatic repercussions. The path forward demands strategic foresight, unity among its leaders, and a clear vision for national security. For the United States, this agreement is a critical test of its commitment to regional allies and its broader Indo-Pacific strategy. It requires not only sustained investment in defense and security cooperation, but also a renewed focus on diplomacy, economic engagement, and people-to-people ties. Washington must demonstrate that its promises are more than words, and that it stands ready to support its partners in times of uncertainty. On the economic front, legal uncertainties over tariffs and trade regulations add another layer of complexity to the pact. Both nations must navigate shifting global markets, supply chain disruptions, and the challenge of ensuring that economic growth is inclusive and sustainable. Negotiators are working to resolve these issues, knowing that economic strength underpins security and resilience. Meanwhile, China is expected to keep testing the alliance, using both military maneuvers and economic leverage to assert its interests in the South China Sea. In response, Manila may pursue new legal avenues and international partnerships to defend its maritime claims and uphold the rule of law. The stakes are high and every move is closely watched by the region and the world. Ultimately, this pact is reshaping the region's geopolitical landscape, binding US and Philippine interests more closely than ever before. It is a signal to friends and rivals alike that both nations are committed to a free, open and secure Indo-Pacific, where sovereignty is respected and cooperation prevails. The future remains uncertain, filled with both promise and peril. Yet by choosing to face these challenges together, the United States and the Philippines are setting a new course for the Indo-Pacific, one defined by partnership, resilience, and hope for a more peaceful and prosperous tomorrow.